Hello gamers, it's SoftKitty99 and today we're in the Minecraft Creative Builds world. In the last episode we turned a butcher's shop into an inn with a beer garden for the village. And you can see that right in front of us, and then just past that there's the tannery building, which was one of the very first buildings that we did in the village. And now we've actually pretty much done the entire village. We've just got one building left. And there you can see an overview of our village. And as you can see throughout, we've not done huge changes to most of the buildings, but it has made a huge difference to the entire village. So I've left what I think is possibly the hardest one for last, and that is the blacksmith's shop. Now I've had various different ideas for this place, and at the end of the day I haven't decided what exactly I'm doing with it, so we'll be going to do this as we go, and you'll see what ends up being like, so we'll see how we get along with it. Now I definitely think we need a bigger outside workshop area. And we also need a little bit more living space, because what we've got here basically is a little outdoor workshop area and a little tiny shop area. So I think if we add an extra story, so we can add a bedroom and living area for the blacksmith, and then we want to make the outside workshop a lot bigger, so that maybe there's a couple of people working here. And I think we need to make the forge area bigger, so I think we need to extend this and make a bigger lava pit and sort of make a corner forge area. And as you can tell, I'm making this up as we go, so we'll see whether this works out well or not. Yeah, so I think because of the way the path comes, it kind of comes up from the village, I think we should extend the workshop around the end of the path and then make the access into the workshop area directly from the path coming up from the village. So instead of being at the side, it'll be at the front. So we want to get a big cobblestone area extending out here, so we're just going to clear some space, get a bit of the grass out, and then start laying our foundation. So we want to extend it a little bit so that we can make the forge like a big corner forge. We want to try and change the shape of the forge. We might have to alter this as we go. So I'm thinking that we have like an L-shaped section around the edge here. Now is that long enough, or does it need to be a little bit longer? Let's knock out this corner section and let the lava come around. Yep, definitely hot. We will need a lava bucket in a bit to make that the right level. In fact, let's look for one now, shall we? Lava! There we go, lava bucket. Now let's make sure we don't burn ourselves with that. So let's make the height the same all the way across. Oh, now why is that not right? Okay, that's cool. Now it's still. Yeah, we definitely need to be longer on this side, because that is kind of an L shape as we've got it, but I don't think it wants to be an L shape. I think the two wings want to be about the same length, so we need to go, what, one more block? Is one enough? Yeah, remove one. Is that enough then? So count them, 1, 2. No, one more. Needs to be 3, doesn't it? Fill that in with our lava. Where's that? 9? Yeah. Make sure it's still. We don't want it to be flowing. Right, so we've got a bigger forge area now to access. And we're going to want like a big chimney above the forge area, so if we knock this back corner out and then think about how we want to build our chimney stack. Do we want a little bit more head height here? I think we might do, yeah. I like better access. And then right in this corner where we've got the little bend, That's where we want the actual flue access right up the top, so that's where the tallest bit wants to be, right in that corner, doesn't it? Since most of this forge area is made of cobblestone, we'll probably want to use a lot of cobblestone in that chimney section, and we kind of want to taper it up into that corner, so the tallest bit's at that corner, but all the smoke and heat kind of wants to be channeled through the chimney away from the wooden structure at the right hand side. And we also want to extend this platform for the working area further out so that we can make the access to the path at the right in line with where the path is coming up here. So I think we want to extend it a little bit further out so that we can put like an overhanging above it. Right, remove these stairs. How long do we want it to be? A couple more maybe? So now we can put access here from the end of the path up into the building. How does that look? That might be pretty good actually. So if we now make the steps and the edge of the platform using the slabs that we've got on top of the roof, so now you come up the path and you're directly into the forge area. So that's the access for the villagers into the building now. And then we go on some sort of overhang roof over the whole working area for if we've got inclement weather, so that the blacksmiths can keep working here. But I don't think we want it to be as solid as the roof that came with the original village build structure. I think we want it to be a lot lighter, so I think we might just use the slabs rather than the entire cobblestone and slab ensemble grouping thing. So you need protection at the back from the lava, but I don't think I want it to be all the same height going around. If we could kind of taper it, down the side here so that it like increases in height. Maybe we use the stairs on the side to kind of give it a little bit more of a tapered effect as we go. Might even want some wall and some slab. We'll grab all of the different blocks. I'm not sure which ones we're actually going to be using because, as I say, I'm making this up as I go. But I just think the same height there right at the end just doesn't look quite right, so maybe a stair or a half slab or something will make it seem better. How does that look? That I think looks a lot better. Now we have to decide how big we want the chimney stack area to be in the corner. And we want some sort of support for the roof, maybe in the corner here like this. I don't think we want this great thickness here. I think let's take that out and make the support pole a little bit taller. In fact, let's take this whole thick cobblestone section out because I just don't like it. It's just too heavy looking. Yeah, let's just take the whole of this centre section out. There we go. Now we've got more space to work with and we can see what we're working with. We definitely want to add an extra block along the top there above the furnaces and to make the supporting wall into the living area and shop area. And then we want to make a chimney stack in the back corner here. So I think I'm going to make it 3 by 4 and then build it up a couple of layers. So it's a 3x4 chimney stack, and it's gone up by 3 blocks in height. And now we're going to taper it in a little bit using the stairs on top all the way around the edge. Yes, we want the chimney to be like a big solid construct, but we don't want it to look just like a big solid blob that's too heavy for the rest of the building. Now I was thinking we want to go around and a little bit higher on a higher level, but the cobblestone wall, as you can see there, doesn't sit on top of the inner section of the stairs. It kind of sits half on and half off of it, so that doesn't look like it connects properly. So let's try the iron bars and see where that sits. Oh, that's much better, because that actually sits on like the outer lip of the higher section of the stairs. I think that looks a lot better. Now, can we put iron bars down here to form a little end gap? No, because that doesn't quite fit. It won't connect to the stair block. I did kind of want the end shut off a little bit for protection for customers. But I suppose it wouldn't hurt for the blacksmiths to actually have access from that side, so that could work. And then this section that's going to be over the workshop area, I'm going to use these half slabs, the stone half slabs, to form the roof structure over here. It's just to protect the blacksmiths from rain while they're working, just so that they don't have to shut shop in case it gets a little bit damp. So we want this roof section to go all the way over where we've now extended the cobblestone workshop area. And then I think 1 block around the edge as well, just so we've got that little bit of an overhang to protect them while. Oops, no, be careful we don't put it double height, we just want it to be 1 slab all the way around. And we've made sure that the slab will be tall enough for us to put 3-4 sections of the fence. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the half slabs sit on top of that, and then we want to do that at the side here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that should connect nicely. That's beautiful. That's exactly where we wanted it. So we've now got a much bigger workshop area, and then let's just extend that little bit further so that it connects with all our support poles and then goes 1 block extra around the edge. So just 1 along the front here, and then that outer section is completed. Now we want to remove the half slab from over the shop area, because we're going to extend the living space up an extra floor so we can add a bedroom for the blacksmith. But we will put in the half slab over the forge to protect the upstairs area. And then over here we will extend the roof again to fill in the gap just outside of the shop area. And that will then connect eventually with where we're going to put the walls. So you decide now where you're going to extend the top section. I think I'm going to extend it out a little bit around here. So I think we will use this little gap here just to make the upstairs a little bit bigger. So I think we will put in the half slabs here 1 step down, so that they're actually now forming the floor for the upper story. There we go. So we're using the slabs to form the upper story. And the reason we're using the stone rather than wooden planks is because we're at a forge, of course, and just to try and prevent as many problems from happening as possible. Now you can see that the space that I'm building up here is going to be not a regular rectangular or square structure. It's going to have a few little changes in direction, which is going to make us a very interesting roof upstairs. It might be a little bit awkward to build actually, but we'll see. So 1, 2, 3 tall on top of where we currently are. So 1, 2, 3, and we want to do that in all the corners that we've now made for ourselves. 1, 2, 3, there we go. So now we've got all of our support posts in the corners. Now we can see the shape and space that we've got for building our upper story, Now I am actually going to use the wooden planks to build this, but if you are like in a survival world or something, you might want to do it all in cobblestone just to prevent fires. And where am I going to put the windows then? I think I might leave the 2 wide window there, and then this side we're going to just put the windows above where they are in the lower story. So if we just, there we go, so 2 single windows. Here I think we'll just fill it all in. And I think we'll just fill in here, so we'll actually leave like a little corner section free there and just fill in the side, just to give us as much space interior as we can. So we filled in all the edges of the walls around there. Got a very interesting shaped room upstairs now. We want some glass now to fill in the windows, and we also want a little bit of a different colour for the roofing edging, just to make it tie into the rest of the builds in the village. So we'll grab some crimson stairs and some crimson trapdoors. I'm just trying to decide if we need any slabs for anything. And we want some oak stairs as well for continuing with the roof area. So we want to start with the crimson stairs. And this roof, of course, is going to be a little bit more complicated than some of the others. So let's make sure we don't forget to put in our windows. Let's grab some glass. We don't need the lava bucket. Let's just pop the glass in before we forget. There we go. Just fill in all the little windows that we've left upstairs. And I don't think we left any around the other side. There we go. So grab the crimson stairs, go to the longest wall and run it along there. And we'll stop as soon as we get to the chimney. But at the opposite end, where the chimney isn't, we will extend it. And we'll then also go underneath with the upside down stairs to give it that little depth. And we're going to make a V-shaped structure at this end wall. So if we come to this opposite wall now and run along the front of it with the crimson and extend by 1. And we're then going to want to go around the roof on this interesting shape around this edge here, and we're going to go up from the edges and join it all together as we go. So come round the corner like so and build onto the end of the chimney. So you can see we've got this very interesting, more complicated looking roof, and it is going to be a little bit more difficult than the ones we've done before to make it work. I'm just debating whether we want to stop at that point. Do we want to go around the corner? I think we do the under hanging there and we go up the side like that. Maybe. And then we want to join it around as we go. So we're basically just following the contours that we've built and joining it all up together. So we make the corners as we go. And then, oops, that didn't go in the right spot, did it? Right, let's go around the corner here and then pop it in there. There, so now it goes nicely around the corner. And then we extend to the end here. And we want to use the crimson at the end to join the two together. So let's put a row of stairs along here. See, now if we stop at this side of the chimney here, which is what we want to do, we don't want to overhang the chimney itself. That might not quite meet up with the opposite side. And we'll also want to fill in this gap here using planks as we go up, just to make sure it's all done properly. And then we want an extra row here. So that's probably where we're going to want to end up going. And because of that's where the end of the chimney is going to be, I think we're going to have to join it across here. And I think we need to remove this end section and change this into the crimson right here, stood on top of the post. Otherwise we're just going to make things much too complicated with the chimney structure for ourselves, and we don't want that. then we want to change that for crimson there, and then we want it to join up there. There we go. Right, so we want to form our peak end section over the top front here. Upside down stairs underneath, correct way up on top, till it all joins, and we've got a nice neat little peak here at the end of the structure, and then one on top, and then we want to go up one layer at a time until it all joins together, which means we're kind of going to have a sloped section at the back of the structure here. At this end it's going to be lower and slowly go up to a taper peak at the front at this end. So we build it layer by layer and see how it looks as we goes, and then adjust it as we go along. You can actually end up with some very interesting looking structures if you start to build in this sort of way. So it's much better if you construct it one layer at a time until it all meets up. Oops. I also want to make sure where the corners turn that it goes in the right place, if I can actually get it to go in the right place. There we go. Now we want to turn around and bring it along. So just take your time, just link it all together and see if you've got it right. And if you haven't, you just delete it and you go back and do it again, and until you get the structure that you want, or something that looks like it fits in with the design of the building. It's also, this means that as the building moves away from the chimney, the roof at the front can get higher, but it also means that the chimney structure at the back isn't overlapping the rest of the structure. Right, I think we need to turn this at this corner here. And there we go, look, you see, as it moves it tapers a little bit, and it's got all these interesting angles on the roof. But now I don't like that red piece at the top there. So if we take that top off, I think that that looks actually nicer without that on. And we've got this really interesting angular structure for the roof, look. Just not your average boring roof, it looks different. It's kind of pretty. So I think we've kind of got the basic structure down there, so now what we want to do is do a little bit of work on the interior and to make the workshop a little bit more functional for the blacksmiths to come and work in it. So now we want to go make sure that all of this is filled in, so all the walls don't have big gaps anywhere. So there, that's done. So now we want a workshop area, so we're going to want cauldrons for water to quench the steel. We're going to want anvils. We're probably going to want little worktops like this. We can make like 2 tall slabs of stone for them to hammer the working metal and stuff on it. Let's make those 2 wide, I think, just so you've got a little bit more counter workspace. And I think we want to make enough space for, like, say 2 blacksmiths to be working at the same time. So we've got 2 workbenches. We now want a couple of anvils, and then we want a couple of places to quench the materials as they're building. So I think we'll add an extra anvil there near the lava as well, in case they need to hammer as they're by the heat source. So we want cauldron. There we go. And a water bucket. And where it makes sense to put this. About 1 here and 1 over here. So we've got 2 sets of equipment and then an extra anvil next to the actual furnace area. So I think that that sorts out the workshop area for us. Maybe a bit of storage. We could put a big chest near the door. Then they've got extra pieces that can go in the storage by the door in case the vendor inside the building needs to grab anything for the customers as they come in. Right, so how do we want the shop to work? I don't think we want this seating. I think it just takes up too much space. So I think we've got the double chest now, probably behind where we're going to have the counter, and then we want a little bit of display, maybe a couple of armour stands and some armour so that people can see the wares that they're making. Maybe they can just use it to display items that they've had commissions for until the customers come and pick them up. Then we want access to upstairs as well. We're definitely going to use a ladder. We don't have space for a staircase in here. We might actually put the ladder in this corner here. That would be quite a convenient spot to put it, wouldn't it? We can't build a big counter because we don't have much space. This is why I wanted the extra space upstairs, you see, because there's so little space down here. I think we might just have to make a one wide counter there, look, so it's just a tiny place to stand and write things in an order book or something like that. A couple of armour stands, I think maybe one in each corner, and then just put a few pieces of equipment on them. Because there's so little space, I think simpler is probably better. Let's not try and put too much stuff in. Actually, I think gold is too ostentatious. Let's use a set of iron armour and then maybe a set of mail armour. The chainmail stuff. Yeah, because they're the more likely things in a small village, aren't they? The more impressive armour and stuff would be more for if you're near a castle, where they've got the lots and lots of rich people and knights and things. Right, so one in the corner, maybe in the corners, or in front of the windows. Yeah, I think that's going to work like that, isn't it? Yeah, and the chainmail on the other one. And then we want a ladder in this corner. And that just still gives us enough access to get in and out of the corner. I mean, you could put item frames and display things on the walls, but I just think that's too much. So I think what we'll do in the large chest, we might put a small selection of tools and things. Because we're at a farming area, I think we want to make sure, not just like a swords and things, maybe we want a few hoes and picks and things. That would be much more in keeping with the location, wouldn't it? A bow for hunting wild animals, shovels, tools, and a hoe. Maybe some shears, because we definitely have some sheep somewhere in the village. Now we'll just put a selection of these in the chest so that you've got things that the blacksmith could show for people. Look, we can make all these things. Here's a sample of our wares so you know if it's something that you want to order. Now we want a ladder to go upstairs with, and then we want to make a small living space above the shop, either for the blacksmith who owns the place, or if he's got rich enough, maybe he's got a house somewhere else in town and maybe his journeyman, trainee, apprentice, whatever, will live upstairs. Keep an eye on the place while the owner's off. So we're not going to have much space upstairs for a lot of stuff, so we want a bed and then maybe a little place to sit and maybe a storage chest or something, but probably not a lot else. Right, so is that going to be the right place to go? I think that might be good. Yeah, that's quite good, I think. Right, so we've got like a little alcove over here, so I think we might do the bed in this section. So let's put ourselves a little bed in the section there. Maybe put some storage in the corner. There we go. And then a table in that front section maybe, and yeah, maybe a table over here. So we want stairs to make a chair, then a bit of fence and a topper maybe. We use the coloured wood for the chair maybe instead. And the pressure plate for the top of the table and the fence for the base of the table. Oops, you have to pick it up. There we go, much better, right. So let's do that. One facing the back there, one facing forward, fence in between, pressure plate on top. There, nice little seating area. And then maybe like a sofa area across the front there. Definitely built for the actual blacksmith owner to start place with. It's much too nice for an apprentice. But that's everything that you would basically need, and I think that then is the structure completed. So let me just give you a quick overview of the place again. And that then is the last structure for our village completed. There's our forge area. And then we've got a little chimney right in the back corner, look for the access for all the smoke and everything to go out. And direct it away from the house. And we've got that really interesting roof structure here. And that is the last build for our village makeover. Hope you've really enjoyed this series and this video today. Please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. From SoftKitty99, goodbye and happy game!